Style, performance, new engine that was implemented last year. Volkswagen of Newport Richey has given us the 2023 Volkswagen Jetta 1.5 Turbo Sport in your pyrite silver metallic. From your interior specs, your performance like this will have more performance than any of the competition like your Mazda 3, your Honda Civic, your Toyota Corolla, Hyundai Elantra. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to go over all the specs and details starting now. The new Volkswagen Jetta Sport starts off with your LED headlamps, LED fog lamps. We will not receive the light bar, but you get the gloss black on the top part and surrounding the grille. The lower will get the matte black, and your ground clearance at 5.5 inches, which the Civic will be over 6, but this is going to be more in Toyota, the same as the Elantra. The fenders, they flare out just a bit, so it gives that sporty image. 17-inch alloy wheels behind it with a disc at 11.3 ventilated. For your braking in the back, 10.7 inches solid and McPherson strut front suspension with a lower control arm, a rear torsion beam. Both the front and the rear will get your coil springs, your telescoping dampers, XDS cross differential system, a length at 185.1 inches with a wheelbase at 105.8 inches. What I like about the Volkswagen compared to the rivals, the savings starts at least $200 less than any of the rivals. Plus, you're getting all the dynamics in that suspension in which none of them are going to do nowhere near this price tag. The side mirror caps will get the gloss black and your window treatment all blacked out with the sport badging. LED tail lamps, the whole lower is going to get the matte black, which is okay because I'm not expecting it to be so performance driven with the diffuser and exhaust and all these good things because it's a 1.5 liter. Quick release trunk going inside to 14 cubic feet. This is going to be the same as Honda and the Hyundai. We do not receive a spare tire. Split fold the rear bench in the back at a 40-60 split, increasing your cargo. It will be more than Mazda, 1.5 liter. Let's start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. Giving us the Taos engine, increasing the horsepower, and they back the performance with a 1.5 liter TSI 4-cylinder turbocharged, producing 158 horsepower with 184 pound-feet of torque that's paired to a 6-speed manual transmission, achieving 29 to 42 mpgs, a 0 to 60 at 7.1 seconds, which is 0.5 seconds faster than a 2021 model with that 1.4 liter. Quarter mile at 15.5 seconds, which yet again is 0.5 seconds faster. What does this equate to against the rivals? It's faster than all of them. Savings can go over $2,000. So you have the performance suspension, you got the engine to back it, also with the numbers. Let's see how those interior specs look. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2023 Volkswagen Jetta Sport. As we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Volkswagen Jetta Sport, you're going to receive 37.9 inches of headroom, 41.1 inches of legroom. We do not have push start, so you actually have to put the key in the ignition. Starting off with your cloth bucket front seat, 6-way manual adjustment for the driver, 4-way manual adjustment for the passenger, black titanium. The dashboard will receive the aluminum look. It's a more simple layout for the dash. We have a digital gauge cluster, which we received that from last year, and it is fully reconfigurable on both sides and through the center. Steering wheel will have the flat bottom. You'll get multi-function, and we get the gloss black. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Mirror Link. Click it to your menu so you can see everything we have. AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse. We do have a reverse camera with the lines. They do not move, and you can change different settings here for the color configuration. Underneath the 6.5 inch, you'll have your climate control, a large storage pocket with 2 USB-C ports. Your 6-speed manual transmission, cup holders, I would say a 20 ounce will fit without any issues. An area here for some pins. It's going to be a bit more sport derived. Open up inside, and it is a deep, it's just a little bit narrow of a pocket. The door panel brushes upwards here. You're going to have your everyday materials on the top. Going to be a little bit more soft for your elbows. One touch up and down for all of your windows, and a large storage pocket with the grille pattern. For the back seats, I'm at 37.2 inches of headroom, 37.4 inches of legroom. You actually sit a little bit more comfortable than the Mazda 3 and the Honda Civic in the back, and the way the cup holders are derived, you actually don't cover the cup holders. The floor is not flat. You don't get any air vents, USB ports, storage only behind the passenger seat. The door panel has more of an everyday material throughout, and even here is going to be a little bit more firm, but you will receive a large storage pocket and that grille pattern in the low. Sitting to the center, headroom is not necessarily an issue, nor is leg room. I am going to be sharing the feet, butt, and shoulder space because it's not the widest vehicle. It's a smaller sedan, but the nice thing is I can actually fit in the center, even though I sit up a little higher up at 6'3". For a long journey, it will not be as uncomfortable. Taking the 2023 Volkswagen Jetta out for our test run. 1.5 liter TSI 4-cylinder turbocharged with 158 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque, 6-speed manual transmission. Your gas consumption though at 29 and 42 mpgs, 0 to 60 number and quarter mile, 0.5 seconds quicker than the prior gen. You're barely at 7 seconds. And you're just a hair over 15 seconds. That's pretty quick for the size of this vehicle. What I also like about it is the fact that we can fit 3 adults my dimensions, which you could see in the interior specs without too many issues for a long journey. When you're comparing this to the rivals, headroom starts becoming an issue. Also, the air condition in the back seat for the Mazda, if you go to the hatch, it becomes a bit of an issue because you don't feel it as much. As for the dynamics, you get the XDS cross differential. I mean, the whole setup, you're getting so much more dynamics, 11 more horsepower than the back in 2021. So was it a good thing they implemented this engine from the Taos? I think so. And that's what we're going to show you throughout this review as a comparison. The heel to toe, very simple. If you've never driven a manual vehicle, you can do so. To the rival perspective, clearance is not going to be the best in this. However, it is better than Toyota. It's the same thing as the Elantra. The Civic will be a little bit higher up. The way you sit in this though is going to be the most sporty because the dash sits up quite a bit. You have full digital readers. This is something that is putting this vehicle in a different tier class because this is the cheapest vehicle and yet everything's digital in the interior. And to show you a little go, can't really go too much because there's a lot of cars in front of us. However, with the visibility, you can see pretty decent. The A-pillars are going to be a little bit more chunky than the Honda, but I like the sport feel that you get out of it. Now, there is 3 things I like, 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this Jetta. The 3 things that I like about the vehicle to start off with is the suspension. You're getting more dynamics in this. Going into the second thing, you get more 0 to 60 quarter miles in this than you would any of the rivals. So it just ticks that box in the sense of full round performance in an everyday drive. Now, because it's manual, is it something that's fun and easy? It can be. Stopping on the vehicle, not an issue at all. To show you what that XDS differential can do, the fun to drive. And you get a fun to drive spirit out of it, especially with this steering wheel, and that leads me to the 3rd thing that I like about it. So all around, you'll be happy for an everyday drive. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle is the electronic parking brake. I wish it was a manual because sometimes you'll forget about it because it's electronic. Leading me to the 2nd thing that I dislike is we have an eco mode. This is a manual transmission. that means I'm going to make it either eco or sport. The last thing that I dislike is on the side of the vehicle, you have a third window. I like that it's large. It's just because of the size and the dimension, it makes a larger blind spot, and we have blind spot delete in this vehicle. It's not 190 inches long, so you can move in and out and you don't really have to worry too much. It just would be nice that it was more sleek, kind of like the Civic. Day in and day out use, heel to toe, very simple. You don't really have to worry in that perspective if you've never driven a manual transmission. This one would be a great starter vehicle. Also, the price point. You're saving anywhere from $200 to a few $1,000s, and you're getting all of these dynamics. Great gas consumption, everyday use vehicle. You get the Taos engine, so you're getting more horsepower and performance. So I mean, it's ticking the box. As for the seat comfort, I like these seats a little bit better than the Civic, only because they feel more sporty. I don't like that it's only manual adjustments, but for the price point, obviously you have to let some things slide, because it's hard to find a vehicle around $22,000 nowadays to get everything in which you get in this particular vehicle. When you look at the Hyundai, the Honda, Toyota, you're not going to receive the same, especially with the technology. It is a pretty smooth vehicle. Quietness, it's not going to be the most quiet compared to the rivals, but it is better than the Civic, and that was improved by 20% for the new gen. So that just shows you how much more sound deadening you have in this interior. So for the long drive, if you're going on interstates, it's not going to be an issue with too much outside noise coming in. Let's rock and roll. Comparing the manual to a manual Corolla, I had a lot of fun with that particular one. The heel to toe is really similar. The difference really is the way you sit in this one. Just the seat itself feels a little bit more performance driven. The exterior feels a little bit more performance styled with the Toyota. For the Civic, it's a little bit more grown up. This one's going to be more driver focused. Because it's manual, you have to be engaged, so it keeps that sporty flair. To the Elantra, you will have to spend a substantial amount more money, a few $1,000s, in which to get that same spirit out of it. Otherwise, it's going to feel like an everyday drive. And when you're buying a manual vehicle, most of the time you want to drive these kind of vehicles a little bit more playful. Just give it a little gas. And you can do so with this. Very simple. You got good safety features. You have great MPGs. I mean, this definitely takes the cake. I'd like to thank Volkswagen of Newport Richey for giving us this 2023 Volkswagen Jetta Sport for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the next video, the subscribe button. Check out the merchandise, details, and website, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.